Zahrah Hana Afifah. My SID is 3319056. This is my final term task. The subject is debating. I'm as the government side. Motion: coronavirus is declared as world pandemic. So I will start my speech. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from the government side. That's again today motion: coronavirus is declared as world pandemic. The definition of motion is: first, coronavirus is a type of virus. A coronavirus identified in 2019 SARS-CoV-2 has caused a pandemic of respiratory illness called COVID-19. Second, declared is one that someone has publicly said or admitted. And third, pandemic is an epidemic occurring on a scale that crosses international boundaries, usually affecting people on a worldwide scale. This whole definition is: I am on the affirmative side, strongly support that the coronavirus is declared as world pandemic. Before I deliver my points of the arguments, I want to introduce my line, parameter, and my split. My timeline is I absolutely agree that the coronavirus is declared as world pandemic. Then my parameter today is I just talk about coronavirus is declared as world pandemic that is happening all over the world. And my split, I'm Zahrah Hana Afifah as the speaker from government side. I will deliver my argument in individual perspective from the coronavirus is declared as world pandemic. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give my argument from individual perspective. I have these points. The first point is that the coronavirus has been declared a world pandemic by WHO or World Health Organization. At first, a virus called coronavirus or COVID-19 originated from the bamboo-certain country, namely China, causing feeling of unrest in people around the world. The coronavirus or COVID-19 2019 disease from Wuhan, China, is a contagious respiratory and blood vessel disease. It is due to being infected with the severe acute respiratory syndrome of the coronavirus, or including fever, cough, fatigue, difficult breathing, and loss of smell and taste. Most people infected with the COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and cancer are more likely to develop serious illness. Since December 2019, this virus has spread to several countries. Until now, it has spread throughout the world and is very disturbing. The transmission of the COVID-19 disease is a pandemic, one of the so-called pandemic because this is outbreak spread of everywhere, covering a large geographical area. The second point, the World Health Organization or WHO on March 11, 2012 declared COVID-19 a pandemic, pointing to the over 118,000 cases of coronavirus illness in over 110 countries and territories around the world, and the sustained risk of further global spread. WHO or the World Health Organization has declared a novel coronavirus or COVID-19 outbreak a global pandemic. A pandemic is a disease that is spreading in multiple countries around the world at the same time. Because of the determination of this pandemic, health experts ensure that it will have an impact on politics and the economic. It has been proven when the global economy is experiencing a slump due to the lockdown, one by the country reported a recent, and Indonesia was no exception. A pandemic is an outbreak of a disease that occurs on the large scale or spread globally. According to WHO, a pandemic has nothing to do with the severity of the disease. the number of victim or infection, but with the geographical spread. It means that the coronavirus has spread widely in the world. At a new briefing, WHO or World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus yet noted that over that past 2 weeks, the number of cases outside China increased 30-fold, and the number of countries with cases increased 3-fold. Further increase are expected. He said that the World Health Organization is deeply concerned both by the alarming level of spread and severity and by the alarming level of inaction. And he called on countries to act now to caution the virus. We should double down, he said. We should be more aggressive. The coronavirus outbreak has been labeled a pandemic by the World Health Organization. This is not just a public health crisis, it's a crisis that will touch every sector, said Dr. Tedros. World Health Organization Director General at the media briefing. So, every sector and every individual must be involved in the fight. Italy has the most case outcomes outside China, with around 1,200 cases, followed by Iran with 900 cases and South Korea with 700 cases. The status of COVID-19 being a pandemic will not change the way this virus works. However, World Health Organization hopes this will change the effort of countries around the world to deal with it. 1 year after the designation, the coronavirus pandemic has now infected more than 100.5 million people with 2 million deaths. The coronavirus has also infected almost all countries on this earth. The term pandemic sounds scary, but it has nothing to do with the malignancy of the disease, but rather it with widespread spread. Remember, in general, coronavirus causes mild or moderate symptoms such as a fever and cough, and most can be covered with a few weeks. But for some people who are at high risk, the elderly and people with chronic health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes, the coronavirus can cause serious health problems. Most of the victims were from this risk group. As the total number of infections increased, so does the number of cases spread from person to person. In communities around the world, cases have now been confirmed on every continent except Antarctica, and secondary disease hotspots have emerged in places such as South Korea, Italy, Iran, America, and other countries. All these factors helped inform the World Health Organization's pandemic declaration. It signals to the world that continuous spread is likely, and that countries should prepare for the possibility of widespread community transmission. It can also inform travel policy and encourage cities and countries to improve quarantine practices and possibly distraction to public events if needs. Also, speed up the administration of vaccine to all citizens. Thank you. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.